So the first video I made, I was kind of nervous, and for the most part, I'm gonna be in my bathroom recording right now, and I'm actually recording on my iPhone. The irony. So this is part 2 of toxic workplace, and I just want to go way more in depth on basically, I guess, maybe tell my story in like a couple of toxic workplaces that I worked at to really get y'all to know. So let's talk about my most recent job. So I was actually a server at Applebee's. It was not my first time serving at Applebee's, and I knew Applebee's was toxic, but I needed a quick cute coin. So I said, it's been a couple years, I've matured, I've grown, maybe things have changed. I was wrong, clearly. So I only survived a month, basically. And it was just like, I don't know. You feel me? Breaking down a toxic workplace is like, if I break it down and really sit here and talk about why and how they're able to make it and survive, like everything from the beginning into the end of the process is about control and manipulation to keep you a slave. Your focus is on making money, and whole time you can't even focus on making money because your mental health is messed all up. You depressed, your anxiety is flaring, everything else, you having panic attacks, you can't sleep, you wondering why you smoking and drinking some more, and it's because that negative work environment. But I digress. So Applebee's, I feel like it started off okay, you feel me? Like, the advice I get about staying neutral, like, this is the first time that I can actually say that I worked at a job where I stayed neutral, like I stayed out of the mix. I didn't try to fall in or fit into one of the cliques or, none of that. Like, I was cool with pretty much everybody. Everybody wasn't cool with me. Everybody didn't like me, but it was whatever. But it was just a lot of like hazing going on, like purposely provoking, you feel me, the new employees. And that is really pretty much job cultures, especially if it's one of the manager's favorites and the manager, just doesn't like you for whatever reasons, because human beings can't fight their own battles, so they gotta send a minion to fight it for them. And that's when you get into the hazing, maybe purposely getting smart with you, overseeing you, not giving you no tables, like basically trying to throw you off and cause you to make a scene, and then you get in trouble and possibly lose your job. So I went through that process. I did end up actually spazzing out on somebody, and I lost my days. So that was the first thing. They get with toxic workplaces, it's like keeping you in control. So they will do things like take days from your schedule, take hours from you, because at the end of the day, in their mind, they're like, if I'm taking your money from you, it's going to make you fall in line. And actually, usually that works, but this time it didn't. It pissed me off. I have way more work experience now. I've been working for almost 12 years. I started working when I was 16. Now I'm 27, and I was kind of like, yeah, it's time for me to get another job. Now, I went back and forth. I did do some applications. I went to job interviews, and it was kind of like giving the same vibes. No training, really no training. You feel me? Co-workers talking about each other like straight out the gate. You feel me? Managers talking about employees straight out the gate. That's like that when they hit you with we're family straight out the gate, that tells you no, we're not family, boo. I don't know you. And it was just like, how y'all gonna take my days and y'all know I need my money? You feel me? It's a such thing, I think, as going too far. So yeah, my days got taken from me because I got into it with one of the manager's favorites. And it was what it was. The next week I got all my days back. And I actually that week ended up actually on having a full schedule because I picked up days, and the energy changed. I went into this I don't give a fuck mode, which I know is like it's time for me to stop working. Now usually, like I said, you know, I'm searching for jobs and something hit me like, you know what, maybe it's just time for me to start, you know, investing in something that I really want to do instead of keep trying to work all these jobs and running in to the same freaking problem. Now, before I came to Applebee's, I actually was working at Starbucks. I worked at Starbucks for about a year and a half. I worked at two different Starbucks. I worked at the Starbucks that was at BWI, and then I worked at a Starbucks that was at Johns Hopkins Hospital. And Starbucks, I liked being a barista. Did not like working for Starbucks because it's training, but it's no type of protocol. Starbucks is about their coins, so they never close no matter the weather. You can come in as sick, you feel me? And this is not to talk shit about the places that I worked. You feel me? I was working these places, I was paying my bills. It was how I was able to make it. But me being a person now that I actually care about people more than I care about these companies, you know, Starbucks is some shit. Like, it is. I love Starbucks. I drink Starbucks myself, but they treat their employees like shit, dog shit. You know, if you do not come to work, it's a possibility that you can lose your job. And it doesn't matter the condition, it doesn't matter what's going on in life. You must come to work. You feel me? That's the first thing. The second thing is you know, it's kind of like no consequences, you know, and you know, I can admit that, like, they don't care. It's like, come to work, make the coffee, whatever happens happens. They don't care about the employees, they don't care about the customers. All they want is that they want the dinero. They want the dinero, they want the euro, they want all of that. They want give it. Before I worked at Starbucks, where did I work at? Well, I wasn't working. I think that was when I was pregnant with my son. And yeah, but the first ever toxic place I can say that I worked for was Hardee's. This was when I transitioned into, now I was working at a truck stop or whatever, and you feel me, the truck stop, it wasn't toxic because they had a lot of policies. You know, of course you did with disrespectful customers, but that's just being in customer service, period. You're going to deal with disrespectful customers. So that's just something that comes with the job. But it wasn't toxic. The first toxic job that I've ever worked at was Hardee's, and I think I was like 20. I worked at Hardee's for 2 weeks. I did not know what a toxic workplace it was, but now I know. Not only was it toxic, the people that I worked for were racist. You know, they had me working for them, you know, and I made complaints about, you know, the customers being racist towards me. You know, I was kind of told to deal with it, you know. And it was one other black employee, but she was from the area. So it was kind of like, oh, you know, even though I am black, I identify as white. In my mind, I'm whitewashed, you know, she's a coon, basically. So that was the first toxic place I ever worked at. And I can say that if you ever quit a job or you get fired from a job and it's like you feel lighter, most likely it's because you were in a toxic workplace. And even though toxicity is being normalized, it's not good. It's like Venom. I don't know if you, like, for anybody that ever seen that movie Venom, that's what it's like being in a toxic workplace. You're internalizing all that negative. Is that negativity is changing your perspective, it's changing your mindset, you know, is fucking you up, excuse my language. So yeah, now that I gave examples of toxic workplaces, like, what's some of y'all stories like about working in a toxic workplace? With some of the advice that y'all have for people? Like, any comments, any type of videos y'all want me to make? Do y'all want me to like dive deeper into, like what I learned, talk about any more of my experience? Let me know, y'all, and listen, I'm not editing any of my videos. This is straight raw, unedited footage. The footage will get better as it goes on, but right now I just feel like this information needs to be put out. People need to start moving towards being entrepreneurs. It's a lot more of us that needs to be entrepreneurs, and I feel like we would be happier if we were. But anyway, leave your comments, likes, subscribe, get these videos out, share these videos, y'all, and so we can tell our stories of surviving a toxic workplace. Peace, blessings, and prosperity and abundance, y'all. I'm out.